It is my great honor and privilege to be here today for the 42nd graduation of St. Francis School. And this year we're graduating one of our largest classes in history with 49 seniors. And now I just want to tell you a little bit about this incredible collection of individuals we have. So a few things that I would describe them with are, they are jugglers and circus performers. They are four-year dragon boat participants and champions. They are fashionistas and fashion designers, including Quebec Couture honored designers and models. They are BSA, MSA, and GRE leaders. They are playwrights, actors, and directors, poets and poetry reciters, brilliant writers, including zine and book authors, podcasters, and vloggers, four-year, three-sport athletes, girls and boys basketball record holders and baseball record holders, future college field hockey, basketball, and tennis players, climate activists, Chinese scholars, refugees and immigrants, hardworking employees, accomplished dancers, math and science nerds, painters and photographers, de facto SFS tech masters, songwriters and accomplished musicians, some of the best vocalists St. Francis has ever heard, top polo players, costume contest dominators, we act devotees, future architects, voodoo enthusiasts, bakers and chefs, ASL students, encouragement club founders, and 49 totally unique individuals. It's an amazing class in so many ways. We can clap for that. Graduating from high school is a seminal moment in everyone's life, so I hope that you guys savor this day. I'm quite certain you won't forget it. Today really does mark the transition from adolescence into adulthood. And I know that this spring has been so very difficult for you, with so many aspects of these joyful rites evaporating into the quarantine. I just want to tell you guys I'm so sorry about that. Everyone has to deal with this mayhem differently, and each person has to do what works for them to get through it. On days when you have the capacity, reach out and do something nice for someone. And then on the days when you don't, treat yourself kindly and let someone do something nice for you. But don't forget that we are going to get through this, and our lives will return to normal at some point in the not too distant future. Hold on to that knowledge and keep your eyes on the future, because the future is indeed very bright for every one of you. Finally, I want you to know that we are so very proud of each and every one of you here today. St. Francis has taught you that one person can make a difference in the world, and I cannot wait to see the difference that each one of you makes. We wish you the very best, and we ask you to come back and tell us about your next adventures soon. Thank you. The honking really cracks me up, I gotta tell you.
When I think of St. Francis, the only word that comes to mind is gratitude. Gratitude for everything I've learned, gratitude for my friends, but most of all, gratitude for the place that St. Francis is, because it feels like more than just a school. When I left my freshman year, I didn't realize all that I was leaving behind. A place where your teachers empower you to be the best you can be. A place where everyone in the hallway knows your name. A place where curiosity and thinking outside of the box are encouraged, not frowned upon. I missed waking up in the morning and being excited about going to school, but I can say after my return, every morning going to school didn't feel so hard. St. Francis has provided me with not only an education, but a life experience. Of course, I'm grateful for everything I've learned inside the classroom at St. Francis, but for me, it was more about what was beyond our school walls. I have learned to be a person who is engaged with the world around me, to greet every person I meet with compassion and understanding, and to carry the philosophy of St. Francis with me, because it isn't just our school's mission, it's a way of life. To cultivate a joyful, compassionate, and intellectual community that celebrates individuality and inspires independent thinking for life.
It's not going to be too hard for the graduates for us next year, as we're all going to be meeting new people and exploring new places. No wonder is kind of automatically associated with those things. It's more of after we settle into routine, been somewhere static for a couple of years, where wonder becomes hard to pursue. And it's that time, in times like that, and times like kind of right now, where wonder is kind of most important in our lives. So I want to remind you one more time what young Eston told me at the end of my letter. He said, "I want to remind you to never lose your feeling of wonder." And I want to add one last request from me, old Eston. I ask you all that as we're all moving on the next chapter in our lives, let's continue to inspire wonder in each and every new person we meet. Thank you.
I didn't think that I would graduate high school, and I'm so grateful to be able to stand here today, having learned and grown from all that high school has taught me. I'm grateful to have been part of such a special place for the past 4 years, and I can't wait to take all the love and compassion of St. Francis with me in the next 4 years of my education at Lewis and Clark College. In whatever ways the car crash that was high school has affected you, I hope that you are able to learn from your failures and your successes, like I have. Thank you.
To my dear classmates, I know each one of you, of us, will impact our world. This may mean sweeping changes, or this may mean changing one life. You have a head start because you've already changed mine. In this uncertain future, I ask this of you and of myself. Take this opportunity not only to affect change, but to demand it, and to create more humane and beautiful lives for all of us.
Our school is a catalyst for connections that would have never been made otherwise. By pursuing equity, St. Francis pushes progressivism into practice. The graduates you see today have all made great changes in their lives because of St. Francis. Watching the senior luncheon made me realize not only how much I've changed, but more importantly, how much my class has changed. Slowly but surely, we've all become different from the kids who first stepped onto the doors of 3rd and Broadway. Whether we gained awareness of our privileges, a more open mind, or greater respect for each other's journeys, the students before you are hopefully not just smarter, not just prepared to go to college, but more compassionate human beings with a broader world outlook.
The friends I made in high school are the kind of people that will do anything for you, but don't expect the same in return. They're the kind of people you don't find very often. They have meant more to me than anything else about St. Francis. You all are the most full-hearted, caring, loving, thoughtful, and loyal people I've ever met. For most of us, it started humbly, like Jack and I meeting at a basketball camp freshman year. For others of us, it was destined to be epic, like Lowell deciding to follow me one day just because he could. But to all of you, I leave you this. Continue to be the amazing people you always have been and always will be, and never waver from who you are. I love all of you incredibly.
A lot of people get the word revolution mixed up, and they think revolution's a bad word. Revolution is nothing but like having a sore on your body, and then you put something on that sore to cure that infection. And I'm telling you that we're living in an infectious society right now. I'm telling you that we're living in a sick society. And anybody that endorses integrating into the sick society before it's cleaned up is a man who's committing a crime against the people. Fred Hampton, chair of the Illinois chapter of the Black Panther Party, said that in 1969. We are still in a sick society, and it's not just COVID-19. Acknowledging we all have different experiences and privileges, we can and should do whatever we can to support and stand in solidarity with those who face oppression. We have been divided for months, and during that time we have been told we are all in this together. This remains true even after this COVID pandemic is over. Even though we're all parting ways, we are not leaving each other behind, so we can still stand together against the sickness of injustice in our society. When we're on our own next year, don't let injustices pass you by. Take action. Be the first EMT on the scene. Hold people accountable. Stand up. Speak out. We don't have to integrate into a sick society. We can be the cure. Not to COVID, of course, that needs a vaccine. Now let's get out there and fight the power with 6 feet of social distancing.
I've been going to St. Francis for as long as I can remember, literally, since I was 2 years old, and it is even more difficult to imagine my life moving forward. St. Francis has seen and helped me grow into the person I am today, and I cannot thank all the teachers and administrators who have helped me get here enough. Man, this has been a long ride, and this school has really seen all my ups and downs. You never really acknowledge how amazing the St. Francis environment is until you can't be in it anymore. I guess I was disillusioned by the fact that St. Francis was always a constant in my life, but once I wasn't in those hallways and seeing all of you all, it really put in perspective how special St. Francis really is. You take for granted the ability to see all your friends every single day, and you even start to miss the things you wouldn't expect, as well as the things you anticipated. Let me just say that the timing of this whole ordeal is not great. We are celebrating moving forward today in a world that is currently very uncertain, and St. Francis has done its best to prepare me for whatever life throws at me, but unfortunately there was not a class on how to survive a global pandemic. Maybe we should add that to the syllabus. And I'm hopeful that moving forward there's a light at the end of this long, dark tunnel, and that one day we will be able to have a proper gathering within 6 feet of each other. Thank you all for being a part of this journey in my life, and I cannot wait to see the things that you all accomplish in the future.
That you find a place like this, and my grandmother reminds me of this every year at Grandparents' Day. Adelaide, maybe if I went to a school like this, with teachers like these, I would have liked school. I know none of my words are new thoughts. I know we all treasure the secure and loving community that is St. Francis. But some thoughts are worth repeating because there might just be someone who needs to be reminded. I've heard the people make the place, and that's just the case here. I love the people at St. Francis, so naturally, when I was looking at colleges, I would look for the creative and inspiring people like the ones here today. I'm not saying I base my college decision on alternate versions of the people here today, but I'm saying that I'm not going to a completely new set of faces. While I might not have found a version of Juan or Miss Gorman or even Miss Thurstone, I did find some people that might just be worth getting to know. I always knew this was coming. I saw seniors before me get senioritis, and I always said I wasn't going to catch it. And I didn't. I'm not saying Corona helped delay the sense of urgency to move forward, but it did remind me of just how good I have it. I stand here today as the best version of myself, looking at the faces that helped shape me into someone who is capable of succeeding, and I'm extremely thankful. Every class, every day was something I always looked forward to. My teachers gave information worth learning, and my classmates made classes worth attending. I loved high school because I've loved everyone I've ever met at this school. And all the people here are worth missing. While I might be leaving, I know I will always have my fellow Wyverns to come home to.
My favorite part of St. Francis is knowing someone will always be there for you. It is the place where you can be anyone, and you can try anything, from cheese club to anime club, but I must admit I did not participate in either of those. This speech is for the people I haven't hugged in a long time. This is a thank you to the people who have filled these years with so many happy memories. I will always look back on our backpacking trips, advisee games, and courtyard water gun fights. If we can get through a pandemic, we can get through anything. Thank you.
Starting over in the United States wasn't easy. Growing up, my parents never had the privilege to go to school, so learning how to read, write, and speak a whole new language was incredibly difficult. They worked 8 to 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, 3 weeks straight, just to get 1 weekend off. In and outside of their workplace, they faced discrimination because of the color of their skin or the language barrier. But they continued working to make sure my sisters and I had the education and the happiness they had hoped for. My sisters and I had our fair share of struggles, from being bullied because of the clothes we wore or the language barrier, from being bullied because of our accent or the clothes we wore, or the academic struggles because of the language barriers. But my parents had it worse. Life has certainly gotten better for us now. My parents are US citizens and we finally have an identity after living 19 years in limbo. We finally have a place we can call our own. And to sit here and think that my parents immigrated here with nothing and have reached the place they are at now is simply amazing. So today, I stand before you to thank my parents and every immigrant parent that left their motherland with nothing but dreams and hopes for their children's future. My parents aren't the only one that helped me stand where I'm standing today. Behind the scenes, my sister, Bishnu, has worked tirelessly to help me pay tuition for St. Francis. She has done everything to make sure there were fewer hurdles for me to pass so I can get to college. Bishnu, along with my sister Tika, have been my greatest role models. Thank you to the United States of America, and special thanks to Miss Robin and St. Francis for giving me an opportunity to attend St. Francis. I'll forever be grateful to have been taught by such dedicated faculty and staff members that genuinely cared for my growth. The education system is complicated and scary, especially for a first-generation college student. St. Francis prepared me well for college, but Miss Robin, along with Miss O'Connor, helped me get into the right college by making the college process easier. And lastly, thank you to the class of 2020. All of you are going to do great things in life. I would like to end my speech by giving a massive shout out to everyone that attends DEI clubs. It is no surprise that a private school lacks diversity, but student-led DEI clubs at St. Francis provided me a safe space to express my thoughts while educating others about my culture and experience of a person of color in America. Thank you, everyone.
Opposed to spending this time focusing on the things we lost or missed out on due to circumstances out of our control, I'll highlight my personal favorite quality that makes St. Francis what it is: the teachers. I've never had a day at St. Francis where I felt unchallenged or unengaged by the discussions taking place there. The passion every faculty member exhibits for the subject they are teaching astounds me to no end. They've taught me what it truly means to be an academic and the strides I must take in order to achieve mastery in what I set out to do. This feature isn't confined solely to the classroom, however. Countless times have I stayed behind to ask a question or discuss a film or book from class, and always this is met with the same enthusiasm and intrigue I now aspire to have. It is these moments that I'm particularly grateful for, the ones that allow me to pursue my individual needs and ideas in ways that no other school could offer me. Without our teachers' dedication to the craft, I would not be standing in front of the sea of various cars of different makes and models. While perhaps we didn't get to say goodbye in the ways we had planned, that in no way minimizes my teachers' importance to me. It is they who I will always be indebted to, regardless of where my academic pursuits lead me. It is they who inspire me to wake up every morning, ready to learn, to listen, to grow. It is they who have made me the person that I am, and I'll carry that with me for as long as I can.
Finally, to my class, I consider these people I've grown to love over the past 4 years as friends, mentors, leaders, and family. These are the strongest, smartest, most talented individuals I have ever met. I find that there is such an overwhelming sense of love and acceptance in our grade that I could talk to any single person in this class and feel welcomed. Every single classmate has shown me some form of acceptance and kindness throughout these 4 years, and I so badly hope that I return that love. You've seen me at my worst, but you've also seen me at my best, and I can't thank you enough for continuing to accept me and seeing me as someone to give a damn about. I love every single one of you. Thank you for everything.
Fellow children of the sun, we were born holding the crook and the flail. With our eyes of silver and gold and minds to rival that of Toph, our time has come. They will understand why we riot in the street. Because Marsha threw the brick, because Tarana raised her voice, because Aoki supplied, because Malcolm died. This is our peace de resistance, and we will make peace from our resistance. Children of the sun, the steps we have taken toward a better world were not a result of docility or sitting calmly with the oppressor. They were a result of standing up and saying we will have our freedom by any means necessary, by any means necessary, and by any means necessary. Children of the sun, we have run 100 miles and we are still running. We do not flee, we chase the sun. Children of the sun, as we take flight, remember what we have learned and yet keep our eyes on the future. And we will feel the wheel of fire burn in our chest as we soar. We will have our revolution.
This class has been showered with praise, deservingly so. Each one of you feels special to me. Even the two of you I never had the chance to teach. I have loved getting to know each and every one of you, and you have left an imprint on me. As a group, you brought out the best in each other, and the sum was much greater than its parts. You are adored, not only by me, but every adult at St. Francis. Parting ways has made me cry, and I would give a tremendous amount to have the last 2 months back together in school with you. We are proud of all of you. You have given so much to me and to the St. Francis community that it is humbling. And I want to acknowledge that your last 2 months of high school were taken from you. Months that would have been filled with chances for you to celebrate your experience and find closure. And as a class that is defined by strong, caring relationships, I know that you as a group would have truly cherished and made great use of this time. So I want to end by naming the sorrow that comes from what we have experienced and try to find closure. To give credit, this closing is using a structure from a piece I read by Nadia Bolz-Weber. We did not get the ending we expected. So I just ask that when a group of you are online commenting on something fun and unimportant, that it be counted as a free period spent together on 2R. And that when you listen to the stories of friends, giving them your undivided attention, that it be counted as your walk to Nancy's. And that when you lose your cell phone and are overcome with gratefulness when you find it, that it be counted as the appreciation you hold for Laura when she lets you into the building. And that when you see or hear a friend being brave, sharing from the heart, stirring beauty with their words, that it be counted as a poem read at morning meeting. And that when you dance without care in your kitchen, wearing pajamas and a smile, fully living in the joy of the moment, that be counted as your prom. That when you bittersweetly read the final page of a book you love, that it be counted as the last time you walked out of your favorite class. And that when you step out of your house, and the beauty of that particular day is matched by a sense of freedom that you haven't felt in some time, that it be counted as that moment at 3:30 p.m. on your last day of classes. And further, I ask that when you reflect on this graduation, that it be counted as true celebration, no different in meaning from what would have been. And that you feel the presence of your teachers and classmates behind windshields throughout this lot, and that be counted as goodbye hugs and softly share thank yous. And that as you sit with your own unknown emotions at all the change you are experiencing, that it be counted as the closure to high school that none of us wanted, but that which we have received. So thank you, class of 2020. You made every day at St. Francis a joy. I'm eternally grateful for your friendship and kindness. I love you all. I wish you the best.